I'm Angelique. I'll be your social worker.
I'm Allison. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. And what kind of things bring you in today?
I just had a couple of, not really issues, but just little concerns going on. First is school mainly. I transferred in to social work just this past semester, so I've only been 3 months into the program, which is a little stressful to think about because now I am also going back to doing the makeup classes, and then I'm also learning new terms of what social work is, because I really didn't have a good understanding of it. But I think I'm mainly just trying to get a hold of everything, and now that it's halfway through the semester, I feel a little more comfortable about being in so late. I feel that I also know a lot of people that can kind of help me and give me guidance to where I need to go. Along with just transferring into social work, I also was getting my deaf study certificate, so I was trying to get it's technically a minor. Didn't want to do interpreting just to have another thing on my resume, and also to graduate with. I thought it'd be really cool, and I really enjoyed learning American Sign Language, so I thought that was awesome. But on top of transferring, I have to do make up 2 classes for that still, so it's kind of a little, it's just another added 6 credit hours that I have to worry about making up at some point. And then also with joining social work so late, I had 3 classes from the very beginning of when you first were in college. Super easy classes. You just need to figure out when to make up 9 more credit hours. So putting this together is a whole other semester of school, and I'm trying to graduate somewhat on time, at least next spring, maybe that summer if I have to make up an extra semester. If I can't fit it in, maybe next summer. But I'm trying to kind of manage catching up, but also being okay with catching up, because I feel I just want to be ahead of what I am right now, and it's just hard to.
Hard?
I think maybe not hard, but it's just hard. It's tricky. I think kids. It's just also scratch that. Some kids I graduated high school with are graduating this spring, so it's kind of stressful to think that I'm am I behind for bad reasons or am I behind for good reason? But then I remember that I also just changed my major, so it's not that big of a deal. I just had a different path that I wanted to go down, and that's totally fine. I think also I just want to get out of school sooner, so that's just tricky to think. Not tricky, but it's just annoying to think of how much longer I have to go with school and making up classes from my deaf study certificate and my 3 from beginning of social work, but I know I can do it. It's fine.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm hearing you say is that you started out with wanting to do your deaf studies program and wanted to do your speech pathology, but somewhere down the road you decided to change your mind and pursue social work. And you're a little bit behind in social work because you have to take your beginning classes that you have 3 left of, and you want to make sure you're all caught up, and you want to either be ahead, if not a little bit as on time as you can be. And you just need to make sure you take all your classes, you get all your work done, and then that you can move swiftly from the field, because your field sounds like it's very different, and you want to do all these things and have your certificate, and you your sign language, but you want to switch to social work, and you just need to make sure you are caught up on your classes and you have all that done, and it can be stressful to manage, and how many classes you have and other responsibilities that you may be having outside of school.
Yeah, that's, right on. The thing with when I was in speech, it was just so medically based that I just didn't like how medical, I guess not infused, but just focused it was. So when I was looking at other majors, there was a class last semester that I actually did within speech, or last fall, that was anatomy of speech and voice, and it was really neat because we actually had to do a human cadaver lab, so I thought that was really cool working on sounds creepy, but dead people. It was very neat to see how the body parts actually look, instead of doing an online lab or doing what other just reading through a textbook. It was so much more helpful to actually see it, and then that didn't faze me, so I was maybe I can actually work with forensics, or do go into something different like that. So I was looking at, when I was thinking about changing my major, I looked at different options that maybe related to how interested I was in that class, and studying all the anatomy of a person's body. So I looked into forensics, and I was maybe not, that's so basic, narrowly focused on that. So I was probably not. So I then was well, I also enjoy working with kids, and I've always wanted to work with kids. That's my main reason I went to speech. But then I was probably not. So I went I looked at social work, I looked at criminal justice, and I liked both of them. I thought social work was more designated towards kids, which was what I really wanted. So I was like, I have to go focus for like what I really want and then what I enjoy, because I babysit mainly as my job. So I just love working with children. And when I finally switched to social work, I think my dad felt like it was more suited towards me as well, because he's a police officer, so like he knew I really enjoyed all of the court cases and the criminal like side of like everything like that. And I really enjoy like watching all these TV shows like that are like Criminal Minds, like Law and Order, like all those things are just very interesting to me. So when I finally narrowed it down to like social work and saw all the opportunities through social work I could go, I thought that was so neat, and I thought that I was in the right field then, and now I'm like very excited about, which is good, because I want that motivation, like the excitement throughout the whole major, and the majority, or like the rest of the time I have in the 2 years of the program. But now that and then this semester I also found that we do placement, which I think is really cool, because with speech I didn't do that at all. So what was really awesome is when Dr. Harley in class announced that we were going to do placement our senior year, I thought that was so neat, because my previous major was speech, we didn't have that opportunity, and I thought that was so awesome that we will have that opportunity with social work, because all my friends have been doing internships and co-ops, and I thought that I kind of just felt left out. I'm like, that seems so cool, like why can't I do that? But now I can, which is super neat, and take classes at the same time, which might seem a little stressful, and it might be stressful, but I'm more excited for like the aspect of actually working and getting a feel before I graduate. That way I know if I'm really meant for this like direction, which is neat. And then with the placement, I like am all over the place, because I also, as I told you, I like really love working with kids, so I'm kind of like confused if I want to go for the kids, or like she even mentioned how there's an opportunity with doing like the homicide unit at Cincinnati Police Department, which I think is very cool. So I'm considering that, as well as like also working with children, because like I babysit, maybe this is like my calling to go in a different direction, so like I might just try and like persuade myself to go that way instead of this way. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited for next semester though, because we have there's a placement class that will help us find that. So I think I'm going to really try my best to like go in that direction at least before I graduate, so I can know if like forensics homicide is like the unit for me. So we'll see if that works out, I guess.
Yeah, so it sounds like originally you were really into speech pathology, but just with the terminology it was a little too boring for you, and you wanted more of a hands-on field, and you really liked working with the cadavers, but you just wanted a little bit more. And with your dad's experience in the police force, and that you babysit with kids, so you always have an experience with kids, you wanted to work in the social work field, and it seems like you're really excited about the field placement, so you can know exactly what you want to do, because like you said, you are all over the place, which is great, and that you just want to, don't know if you want to be with kids or if you could work at any different field. And you also mentioned the homicide unit, but definitely that you're excited to start your career and be in the field placement, and then see where you could go and to start your career.
Yeah, I think I'm just more, I don't think it was as big as an issue. I think I'm just like more anticipating like it happening, and like realizing that like I will be working next year, which is super neat. I'm also just like, I think my only concern with like schooling was like having to take those 5 additional classes that I've missed, with the 2 being in my death study certificate, and then also the 3 with like getting into social work. So trying to figure out how to incorporate that is like my only struggle right now. But other than that, like everything is going so like well with that, because I'm so excited to be in the major now and like actually like be hands-on working with things. And I think when you touched on like how like it being boring and not hands-on, that's exactly like how I felt with speech, because you really, I mean, yes, it is hands-on. You have a client, you are working with people in an office, but like with social work, you're like more, you're either at the scene of something or you're directing these children to a different place. Like you're constantly moving, I feel like. And with speech, it's more, I volunteered with children's in the speech department, and it was more of just like office time. You sit in a room, you talk, you work on their speech, and like that's it. I feel like there was not an extent to that. But with social work, I feel like there's just like the sky's the limit. Like you can do so much with that, and like there's so many different areas you can go into, which makes me like really excited for that. And then I also like, I'm just like super excited because of that. And like with what was crazy about like social work is like my family like totally just like did not consider it. They're like, no, like you're gonna make no money, which is like totally like a generic thing you hear for social workers. You make no money. But then like I told them, like it was kind of funny. It was like a slap in the face to all of them, because I told them all the different like things you could do. And then like also with getting a 1 year's master's, if you get like a 3 point, like 3 or higher in all your BSID classes, like for social work, you can get your master's in a year, which I thought was so awesome. And like then you even make more money. So I was like, haha, you all are wrong, which was really nice. And then that way, like they felt more comfortable about me being in a major where I can actually succeed and do well, which is super helpful. So I'm like really excited to see how that all pans out in the future, which is really cool.
Well, from what I'm hearing is that you're really motivated and driven in this field of social work, and that it seems like you thought you were limited in working with speech pathology because, as you said, you do have clients, but it's more one-on-one and there's not a whole lot required, whereas in social work, you're directly working with a client, you can be at different places, you can touch base with different things, and it just seems like social work is definitely where you want to be, and you can do so much more, and you can help so much people, and with doing a variety of things.
Yeah, that's what I'm just really excited for that. And it's nice because like within my like sorority as well that I'm involved with on UC's campus is like there's so many girls, there's like 3 girls in my sorority that are like also in social work, and but we're all in, like interested in different things, which is really neat to see everyone's different perspectives and like how we're all like so different, but we all like focus on the main thing, which is really neat. And like we're actually working on a project for one of our classes together, so we're going to fundraise money for Off the Streets, which I think is so much fun. And like what our like sorority is like mainly about is all about empowering women and like going confident and like doing like just promoting confidence to like women and children all over the like world, I guess. But it's really neat because for fundraising we're gonna raise money, and then I thought it'd be really cool because it's like we're all about empowering women, and like Off the Streets is about empowering women to get off of the bad I guess like train that they're on with like if it's either trafficking or like just doing things with their bodies that they should not be doing because they're so much better than those like women that they are. I feel like it's just like nice that we're both like about the same values, and so I thought it'd be really neat to have us support them. So we're gonna do like a fundraiser, and we're gonna have like a donation box of like clothing and like feminine products, which I think will be like super helpful for them, and it will just have a good face for us, and it will also show those women like that we're here supporting them too, rather than just like the people in the facility and like the people that also have internships with them and like that kind of stuff. So I feel like it'll be nice for them to see like a new fresh like a new set of faces, and just see that we're all about the same thing, and we're all about trying to help women get back on their feet, which is neat. And like that's also another experience with social work I probably wouldn't have had if I didn't switch, which is really cool. So I'm like super excited about that, and like just seeing the impact that people have. And I think that you see more the impact with social work than you would with speech. So I'm just like, I love seeing like the results of things. I love volunteering and like seeing how my help has changed somebody. So I think that will definitely show through our volunteering experience with Off the Streets and like fundraising for them, and then also like just in general like everything. It's just so neat to see the change that I will hopefully give off.
Okay, so even though it seems like some of your family members were reluctant to have you in the field of social work and that you might not make as much money and what can you do with it, do you think your father's background in policing and just your interest of criminal minds and shows that show crimes and different things like that, do you think that kind of influenced your decision to go into social work or any of your other life experiences?
I think for sure I probably since I was a little kid, like I always thought like being a cop would be so cool, but also like I just don't think I'm cop material. Like I don't think I'd be good out on like the force, like doing patrolling and stuff like that. So I thought there were definitely there obviously is more options within criminal justice, but I thought that like being able to incorporate working with children, which is even like cooler to see that. My dad has always been like very supportive of me, so I think that when he saw that I was really interested in that, he got really excited too, because like I'm kind of following in his footsteps more with like the criminal justice side, that I was interested in that. But now that I'm in social work, I think it's so cool. And he actually works within the family services building down in Hamilton County, so like I have a very good in with them. A lot of them like just know me from growing up because he worked there for 30 years, so or 31 years if you want to add the extra year. So they all really know him very well, and he's definitely a good face, and like I definitely have great connections with like the family services building down there. It might not be something I want to go into, but I definitely can have like connections through there to go find somewhere else. And he definitely knows like a lot of Cincinnati people, which is like also a great help because I kind of want to stay in the Cincinnati area at the moment until I graduate. So I think that's a good helpful, I'm gonna word for it, like a helpful like leeway to direct me somewhere. So I think he's always been like very supportive of it, and like he's always been on board with the idea of me doing like whatever I am passionate about. And like now that he sees that I'm passionate about working with this, he's like, I think he's just more supportive of that, and like he sees that I'm like, I feel like the more supportive you are, the happier you are, like, what's money gonna have to do? Like, I feel like it shouldn't matter. So I think that he sees that he doesn't care at this point. Like, they always will support me if I need ever find, like, financially, like, troubled situations. They always will support me with that, too, which is, like, I'm very grateful for. So I'm just, like, super excited to get into that and, like, for him to see how, like, passionate I am about this and, like, for him to see, like, the change that I, like, want to do and, like, want to give out, too.
It seems like this course of action is definitely well thought out. You planned out the perks of being a social worker to being a speech pathologist, and it seems like you know a lot about what you want to do, the types of people you can work with, and it just seems like you're very driven and oriented towards becoming a social worker and just combining your efforts of working with kids and your dad's background and just all of that combined in one to being a social worker. And it seems like you know a lot about what it takes and that you are on the right path.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just really excited to get into it. I think it was a good move. I just, whenever and I volunteer now still at children's, but I've moved to the child life specialist, which is kind of similar to social workers. It's not the exact same, but it's kind of similar. You're working with kids that have health issues and you're helping them find, like, contact after that, which is what some social workers do as their profession. But it's nice to do that, but I definitely think I'm going to steer away from the medical field. It's just like that area. I just don't want to work in a hospital around, even like where I volunteer, I'm like with the cancer patients, I guess. So it's not the best atmosphere. I definitely would like a happier, even though I mentioned homicide, I'm just very over the place. I think just like working in the hospital, it just like makes it more sad. I feel like you're seeing like all these kids together, just like, it's very like heartbreaking to see like how they have to go through. But I feel like with like that aspect as well, I'm not seeing like the court cases, I'm not connecting them with people that I feel like I want to do that kind of stuff. So with homicide, like, yes, I am seeing like the sad part of it with like people unfortunately like dealing with like these issues, but like at the same time I'm like helping them get to a better place, which I feel like at children's like volunteer I'm not as much, but I was working, I definitely would be, which I'm kind of like complaining about either one, but I'm just more, I want to see where the change is, and rather than like I'm just kind of there to play and like volunteer with them, but like working is, I mean volunteering and working is very different also, like as well. I can't do as much with volunteering as I can with working, so I think that will also be something I will enjoy a lot more than like volunteering instead.
Volunteering definitely sounds to be like a good beneficial tool for you to be able to incorporate those skills with the skills of becoming a future social worker. And it seems like you take a lot of joy in volunteering and working with the kids, but since you do work with cancer patients, it can take a toll on you, and you would just rather be in a different environment, to be doing more positive things and just working with a different population just to start out with.
Yeah, and the past like 6 years I volunteered for a program called Appalachian Service Project, which is like where you go build houses for people that have like low income, like very like impoverished areas around the Appalachian areas, like West Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Kentucky, so like that whole area. And it's neat because I think that's how I also got into social work, is like with like child services, like having to like, I think when I see like these kids in these such horrible situations they are unfortunately placed into, or like from this like being born into the world, like they are just like placed in these things and they really can't fix it unless they like actually like go above and beyond in school, like get scholarships, like do all that kind of stuff. So I feel like when I see that kind of issue too, I feel like kids can do so much better. So like seeing that as a volunteer with those program, like with that program specifically, I see like it, like with the children, like it hits home. Like I really just like love working with children. I think that's also another reason I wanted to do social work. And I considered foster care at first because I really like thought like placing children in a better home where they could succeed and do better. I thought that was awesome. So I was like waiting to see like what next year's placement will bring and how that will affect my volunteer at like aspect of it, and like seeing all that. And I think that will be a good thing for me to also like narrow down as well.
Okay, we touched a lot on your volunteering, the different skills that you can incorporate into social work, your feelings about wanting to definitely move forward with social work. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about today, or is there anything how positively or negatively that school affects in other areas of your life?
I think I'm good. I think I just need to work on like more for like the next week until I see you again, catching up on like my schoolwork and just like really focusing and maybe like even plan out my schedule for the next year so I can try to incorporate all my classes and make it manageable, on top of like working a couple hours of what you guys babysitting.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today.